plants deserve more than a chemical diet. Give them the natural power of nature's living soil, packed with organic amendments and living microbes that feed the soil and fuel growth from the roots up. Stronger plants, bigger yields, better results. Shop natureslivingsoil.com and use code WWPGEN10 to get 10% off today. Nature's Living Soil. Feed the soil. Watch life flourish.
Good day, and welcome to WWP Genetics. We're thrilled that you have joined us for another engaging and educational video. Today, I will be discussing THC versus CBD versus CBG, the cannabinoid nobody told you about. What if I told you there's a cannabinoid in cannabis that doesn't get you high? It's not CBD and it's not THC, but it might actually be one of the most biologically important compounds in the entire plant. A lot of people have heard of CBD, more people have heard of THC, but almost nobody is talking about CBG. And that's strange, because scientists often call CBG the mother cannabinoid, not because it's trendy, but because many other cannabinoids literally start as CBG inside the plant. CBG doesn't behave like THC, and it doesn't behave like CBD. Instead, it interacts with inflammation, gut health, stress signaling, and cellular defense systems in ways researchers are only starting to understand. Today, we're breaking down what CBG actually is, how it differs from CBD and THC, what the science really says about inflammation, gut health, mood, skin, and joints, and where the hype ends and the biology begins. There's no fluff, no miracle claims, just real science, plus a little bro science to make things a little easier. CBG is one of over 100 cannabinoids found in the plant, but unlike THC or CBD, it's only present in tiny amounts, usually less than 1%. That's because CBG is actually the precursor molecule. Think of it like the stem cell of cannabinoids. The plant uses CBG to make THC, CBD, and CBC. So by the time the plant matures, most of the CBG has already been converted. CBG is basically the OG molecule. It's the one the other cannabinoids wish they could be when they're fully mature. CBG stands for cannabidiol. In young plants, most cannabinoids start up as CBGA. That stands for cannabidiolic acid. As the plant matures, CBGA converts into THC, CBDA, and CBCA, which eventually becomes THC, CBD, and CBC. Inflammation is your body's natural defense system, but chronic inflammation, the kind that lingers for months or years, is linked to everything from arthritis to gut issues or maybe even skin flare-ups. Early research suggests CBG may help regulate inflammation through multiple pathways. Think of the inflammation like a fire alarm stuck in the on position. CBG might help your body finally hit the reset button. Inflammation itself isn't bad. It's how your body heals and protects itself. The real issue is chronic, low-grade inflammation that never shuts off. This type of inflammation is linked to gut disorders, joint pain, and skin condition, and it can even alter your mood. What makes CBG interesting is how it appears to interact with inflammation at the cellular level. Early research suggests CBG may help regulate cytokines, which are chemical messengers that tell your immune system when to activate and when to calm down. CBG has also been shown to interact with signaling pathways, These pathways act like master control switches for inflammatory gene expression. Many prescription anti-inflammatory drugs target these same systems, which is why researchers are paying close attention. Now, this is important. Most of this research comes from cell studies and animal models. Human data is still limited. That doesn't make the findings meaningless, but it does mean we should treat them as promising, not conclusive. If Fix My Gut is on your to-do list this year, CBG might play a supporting role. In many studies, CBG-rich extracts reduce inflammation in certain models. Researchers also observe improvements in gut barrier integrity, meaning a less leaky gut. Let's do some explanations. Your gut lining acts like a security gate. When it's healthy, it keeps harmful substances out while letting nutrients through. Chronic inflammation makes that barrier weak. According to early research, CBG may help calm the inflammation that weakens that barrier. CBG isn't a gut barrier shortcut. It works best when paired with real fundamentals like eating properly, eating enough fiber, consuming fermented foods, and managing stress. Make sure when you use the CBG to also consult with a healthcare provider. One of the few human studies on CBG found that a single dose reduced feelings of stress and anxiety while improving verbal memory. That doesn't mean CBG is a cure for anxiety disorders, but it suggests it may support nervous system during stressful moments. CBG might not tuck you into bed, but it could help your brain from scrolling at 2 a.m. THC works strongly binding to CB1 receptors in the brain, which is why it produces a psychoactive effect. CBD doesn't bind strongly to those receptors at all. Instead, it influences the endocannabinoid system indirectly by modifying receptor signaling and activities. CBG sits in a completely different lane. It interacts lightly with both CB1 and CB2 receptors, but it also influences other systems that have nothing to do with getting high. CBG interacts with receptors involved in the stress response and serotonin receptors that play a role in mood and emotional regulation. Here's the simplest way to think about it. THC is like flipping a switch all the way on. CBD is like adjusting the brightness with a dimmer. And CBG is more like working behind the scenes, fine-tuning how the wiring itself responds. It doesn't force a feeling, it nudges a balance. That's why people describe CBG so differently. Some say it feels calming, others say it feels slightly energizing. That tells us that CBG isn't pushing the nervous system in one direction, it's helping regulate it. CBG has also shown promise in skin and joint inflammation. In some lab studies, CBG reduced inflammatory signaling in skin cells associated with conditions like atopic dermatitis. What's interesting is that it acted on certain pathways, the same pathways targeted by some prescription skin treatments. For joints, early research suggests CBG may reduce inflammatory activity in synovial fibroblasts, which plays a major role in rheumatoid arthritis. This doesn't mean CBG replaces medical treatment, but it may act as a supportive tool alongside other remedies. CBG may interact with medications metabolized by liver enzymes. Some studies show high doses may elevate liver enzymes similar to CBD, so medical oversight is extremely important. CBG appears generally well tolerated at low to moderate doses, but safety still matters. The smart approach is to start low, usually around 5 to 10 milligrams. Increase slowly if needed, and track how your body responds. Use third-party tested products, and stay talking with a healthcare provider is especially important if you take medications or have existing conditions. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button and drop a comment telling your experience with CBG. CBG isn't hype and it's not magic. It's a promising cannabinoid with a unique biological profile, especially when it comes to inflammation, gut health, stress response, and skin and joint support. The science is still emerging, but what we do know is CBG works through multiple regulatory pathways and appears tolerated when used responsibly. As you move into 2026, sustainable health isn't about shortcuts, it's about stacking evidence based habits that support your body long term. CBG might be one of those tools, but it works best alongside good nutrition, quality sleep, regular movement, and stress management. Real progress comes from informed decisions, not trends. We hope you found today's video educational. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share to stay updated on our latest content. For more exciting insights, be sure to check out our brother channel at WWP Logistics. See you in the next video.